Good morning, everyone. Ooh. It is September 2nd, 2022. One of my children's birthday. My son's birthday. He's 33 years old. And I have COVID. After more than 2.5 years of not catching it, though I was with people for 3 months up with my daughters, taking care of their children, and they do stuff and this and that, and I don't know what. We had many visitors here. This never got it. And, yep, finally, like one of my daughters said, oh, COVID found its way to the farm. So I've had it since last a week. No, not quite a week. About 5 days I've had it so far. Oh, you're, yeah, doing all right. I tell you what's working. And I take no more than one a day, is ibuprofen. I tell you what, we didn't know until my sissy got tested. She went to the doctor and got tested and said, oh, you got COVID. Oh, you don't have just a cold? Okay. And sure enough, I had the one thing I found is that my legs felt like they were laden with stones or something. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And of course, it pushed up into my back and this and that. So no fever, no headache. I had that pain behind my eyes kind of thing, where you try not to look backwards or something. And so aches, lots of aching. Oh my gosh! But then I ache already otherwise, so it was like, ugh. But then that made sense because that was something new. I didn't realize. I mean okay. This is am I getting worse with my legs? This no. Oh, COVID. Oh, did I get tested? No. Because I already knew that, yep, if Sissy has it, I'm feeling this weird, it's the same thing. So we're going to save the test to see if, we're over it. I'm over it. Which will be Sunday, we'll check it out. So, I feel pretty good. I didn't get the shots or anything. So, it didn't go travel into my lungs. I cough a little bit more, but nothing serious. I had a lot of snot in my nose. Stuff coming from my brain. You could tell something. And I realized, in the way Sissy had it and the way I had it, this virus will attack your weakest parts in your body. And I think this is the reason. If people have a weak heart or already some kind of a heart disease or whatever, that is why. That is why. And how much of that is there going around? So it would be really interesting to see the people that have passed away with COVID. It would have been interesting to the study of what does this virus actually do in your system, because not everybody is affected in the same way. So I'm sailing through it pretty easily. It seems like. My daughter is here, so she's like, oh, well, you have to hang out in your room, because she didn't want to catch it. So in any case, so there it is. I got COVID, and it's my son's birthday. September 2nd, I had a baby in 1989. People remember what 1989, what year that was? Yes, we had a super earthquake. a big earthquake happened that year. (1989). Where the parts of the bridges all collapsed on top of cars, this and that, on one of the freeways that I had traveled that morning. Yeah. Anyway, so my children, the first three, are all 2 years apart. Kind of interesting how that happened. And I decided again to have a home birth when I found out I was pregnant, and found this midwife, Lindy Johnson, I think that was her name. And she worked together with a doctor that she could be on the insurance with that doctor, so it would, right? Yes. But I had nothing to do with that doctor. I was just, so she had a room and a praxis there or something. So it was, our insurance paid for it, for all of it. Ishi was our only, oh, well, that's not true. Chloe was free too. Well, that's the last story. But Ishi didn't cost us anything. Not a penny. It's all free. Okay, our insurance, which we paid for, right, paid for it in that way. But I went to see a obstetrician anyway. I did that with all of my children, and I felt like, okay, it's better to get, all the tests done, this and that. And again, my pregnancies were pretty simple. Kathy McDonald's was also a part. She was like a backup kind of thing there, which I wanted her. I can't quite remember how that all worked out, but thank God she was actually there. Man, that could have, I'm not sure how that would have gone otherwise. But, I'm trying to recall everything. Let's see. I already had a child, so, we were moving at the same time. Man, we can't stay in that dinky tiny little studio with 2 children. So we started looking. You guys are going to love this. Well, so in the Unification Church, that was the name of it at the time, there was a very prominent figure there as well, and his name was Eldridge Cleaver. Yes, of the Black Panthers. He was older, or had to be in his mid-60s or something by that time. And we met him through the church. Okay, to tell you honest, no idea who Eldridge Cleaver was at the time. Black Panther Party, who the heck were they? I've got to remember, I didn't grow up in this country, okay? I was born here, didn't grow up here. I came here when I was 20 years old. And I wasn't really into demonstrating and protesting and all that kind of jazz, just, So we met this nice older gentleman. And he lived in the area that we lived in, and so we gave him a ride from church when we were talking, and just about things, and something came up about we're looking for a house or a bigger apartment. He says, I got one for you. I go, you do? And he says, yeah. So he took care of this property for an older lady in the nursing home, and he was kind of the manager for it. Okay, so, all right, let's go and have a look. And we went right then and there. Oh, my God. That's it. The good thing that I can look past all the filth and all the Oh my goodness, who's been living here? Okay. Obviously squatters, obviously drug addicts. There was, you guys don't even, okay. The only thing that there wasn't any presence of, which was good, otherwise we'd had to say no, due to the safety of, they weren't cooking anything, any drugs in the house. So that was good. But, oh, you can't imagine the trash. And here's the other thing. The front yard was beautiful, and the backyard was just huge. And ended up being most likely one of the biggest backyards in all of Berkeley. He was just huge, huge backyard. I looked, my husband and I looked, what do you think? Oh, we need a dumpster. We had to get a dumpster and to clean up the house. But we got it for such a good deal that it was fine. And of course, Eldridge did give us a good deal, being good to our family somehow. Oh, anywho. So, and our relationship while we were in that house was always good. It was always amiable, and there it is. In any case, so that's where we moved before Ishi was born, and Ishi was the first one born in that house of the two that I had in that house, right? Yeah. At 3 different places in Berkeley, I had my children. That's so great. Anywho, all have no doubt still blessed places. Pregnancy went pretty good. No morning sickness or anything. Again, so, well, all right, how do you know? And we never found out with any of our children what they were, boy or girl, right? So, could it be a boy this time? Well, everything kind of went the same, What about the dreams, this and that? Well, again, if I really wanted to know, I could have gone and found out. So, anywho, the interesting thing about it was that we had this thing. I got to name the girls, and my husband got to name the boys. So, of course, we were kind of always going, figuring out names for both of them, for both a boy or a girl. And so, he came up with these names. Interestingly enough, we weren't really looking for a girls' names. That was one kind of giveaway. It was only about boys' names, right? Even though we didn't know. Cosmo. He could have ended up being a Cosmo. Oh, I'm not even going to tell you what he wanted to name him otherwise. I mean, it was like nope, definitely not doing that. So, and at that time, there was the story about Ishi in the wilderness. Ishi, the last Yahi, was really kind of almost like come back. And a lot of it was out there about Ishi and his story. And it's a really amazing, it's a really sad book. If you want to read it, there's a book called Ishi, I-S-H-I. And I was I had such great respect for this man. And suddenly my husband goes, how about we name him Ishi? I'm going, oh, yeah, absolutely. Good with that. So that's how Ishi got his name, right? It's not short for Ishmael, this or that. It's Ishi. And Ishi in the Yahi language means man or person. Turns out that in Japanese it means stone as well, or something like it. I think Ishi is a beautiful name, and Ishi has a beautiful story. The man. I felt like I had a beautiful story and good energy to give to our baby if it was a boy. so, so there we go. There's the story of how our son got his name. When I was 6 months pregnant, I started to get sick. I mean, I started to get really sick. And I couldn't eat. Now, remember, I always ate very well when I was pregnant. So I'd already gained some weight, this, that, I mean. And I went and got it checked. I said, man, but I was worried because I was 6 months pregnant and I was not feeling well. So I went and took my blood pressure, and immediately the doctor comes in afterwards and said, how are you feeling? I'm going, I feel fine. I said, I'm just nauseous. Yeah, but it's not, yeah, it's like, isn't this supposed to happen in the first 3 months, not when after you're 6 months pregnant? And she's like, well, it's not just that, but your blood pressure is so low that how are you walking around? I'm going, well, I've always had that, so that's not a big thing for me. And she's like, huh? I'm going, no, I'm fine. They wanted to admit me to the hospital, and I said, no. No, I don't feel that bad. I said, I just feel nauseous, just want to make sure everything else is okay. So their worry was my blood pressure was so low, and they checked everything and says, well, everything is fine, so maybe you're just something different, I think, okay. So I went home, and it did take, it took about a month, 7 months pregnant before it went away. And so I'm going, oh, delayed morning sickness or something, Well, in any case, so there it goes. That was the only thing during, again, I said, well, this is different. This is really different. It's almost as if my body is having a reaction to something that's different than, all right. With the girls, nothing, never, ever. So the due date was September 2nd. My due date was September 2nd. It was pretty much smooth sailing otherwise. And on September 1st, there was nothing. I'm going, this one's going to be late. It could be a week late. 2 weeks. I was told 3 weeks late. I'm going, whoa. No, I was ready to give birth. I was so ready. So we all went to bed. There goes my daughter over to the barn. We all went to bed, and something woke me up. Oh, no. Let's see. Something woke me up exactly at midnight from September 1st to September 2nd. Midnight. It was exactly midnight. I turned the light on. I looked, and it was 12 a.m. And my water broke. My water broke. And no contractions, nothing. My water broke. My water broke. That was it. That was that. But since I knew with Christina, I got ready. Oh my gosh, here we go again. And it's midnight. Okay. Oh, my midwife, okay, Lindy Johnson, she said, I'm going on vacation. So I'll be only an hour and a half away. So if anything happens, let me know. Right? And I'm going, when she told me that, I'm going, okay, no need to call you. But this is what she told me. She said, you know, you had a really fast birth, right? And she kind of didn't believe me. She wasn't there. Now, how can you have a baby this fast and not, you know? And so she kind of didn't believe me. I could tell, right? Why is it with all these unbelieving people when people tell you actually the truth? And I thought to myself when she said, you're going on vacation? Well, that might just be the trigger, you know, for me to have this baby an hour and a half away. I guess we'll see, right? So I had my nephew there, and he's like, what do I do? What do I do? Right? And let's see. Paul was playing music again somewhere, okay? Still at a gig. But we knew where he was at because, you know, we knew better than to not know where he, you know, to let each other know so that we can contact each other. So I said, call Paul, call Kathy McDonald. Don't even bother with the other one, okay? Call Kathy McDonald. So he did. He did all that. Now, there was somebody else there with me. I can't remember. Who else was there? Well, in any case, so here I am, and my water broke, and there's nothing happening. Nothing. There's no pain. There was no this, no that. There was nothing. Nothing happening. I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a dry labor. Oh my God, this is when, you know, all your water breaks and nothing's happening, and then that's very painful. Well, in any case, so here I am, and I'm feeling, so about 30 minutes later, now it's 11:30, Kathy McDonald is on her way, said I'll be there as fast as I can, and I'm in the bathroom. I always end up in the bathroom. That's because it was comfortable. And suddenly I've gone, oh, because you start eliminating. This is another really amazing thing about, right, giving birth. You start eliminating beforehand. What? You can come out. I'm just making.
I'm going to go up the hill.
Oh, you going up the hill?
Come on, Bo.
Go with Mama.
Come on. Let's go.
All you need to go is out there and call for him. Don't you want to go up the hill? It's getting older. So, trying to recall all these things. There's so much in a way going on, and so little on the other hand. Kathy McDonald gets there, and I'm sitting there, and I went, oh, yeah, I can feel something's happening. It was so mild. It was so mild. Anything that was happening, it was so mild. It was like, oh my gosh, you know, this is going to take forever, this, that. So mild, yep, and very pleasant. It was very pleasant. Nothing like the first time around, okay? So pleasant. And Kathy McDonald's gets there, my midwife, the one that was there for Christina. She had contacted Lindy Johnson, who was on her way. And Kathy looked at me and she said, well, she'll never make it here. And I'm going, what makes you think so? Well, midwives, I guess, who have plenty of experiences with what they just know. So she said, okay, come on, I need to check. She said, no, I'm good. I'm not going to worry about this. It's just that the contractions are so mild and they're so pleasant, you know. And she said, just get on the bed. By now it's, I was about 12:40. Paul had got there, my husband, as well. And he's just like, what do I do? What do I do? And Kathy and him, they got everything ready in the bedroom. Then she said, I need you to come and lay down now. I went, okay, I'm coming. So I went and I laid down. She said, you're ready to push. I said, what? She said, yeah, you're ready to push. Next contraction. Okay? And here I'm going, but, oh, okay. 2 pushes again. I mean, you're talking about Okay. I mean, I remember how I gave birth to Christina. I remember the searing pain. I remember the this, the that. Okay, I remember it all. With Ishi, it was like, oh, wait a minute. Why do these pushes feel, I said, push. Why did they feel like nothing? Ishi was born, and I wasn't sure I gave birth or not. I have to say that if every woman could give birth like I did with my son, it would be one of those things where you had to say, wow, this was so pleasant to give birth. I can't say it any other way. Well, in any case, it was I guess every child's just different. Not sure. I'm not sure why I had such an easy birth. Ishi was born. My water broke at midnight, and he was born on September 2nd, his due date, at 12:50 a.m. 10 to 1. 10 to 1! You have a birth like that. Oh. Yay, it's a boy. So Ishi it was. He was the longest baby by 23 inches. He was 23 inches long, 7 pounds, 14 ounces. So he was so long and skinny. Anyone that knows my son, he's never changed. His physical appearance, he just grew into a person, an adult. But he was always exactly that way. He was born skinny, slender and lean, and tall. How long? And he had the biggest eyes in a little face you can imagine. His eyes took over his whole face. It's beautiful. Again, another beautiful child. Perfect in every way. Long fingers, long feet and toes. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Yeah. 33 years ago. So I had another. My first one was 45 minutes. My second one was 50 minutes. That was just with hardly any pain or contractions, or it's just a weird one. I guess I just call it a miracle. Every baby's a miracle, right? Regardless, right? Every baby is just a miracle. It was in the middle of the night, too, right? Yeah. So things quieted down really quickly afterwards, yes. And we had 2 children. Christina was just 2 at the time with us in the bed. Amazing. It's such an amazing thing when you see your little family grow. When you see your family grow, right? And right, mom and the baby are okay. Right? Yes, everybody's okay. So there it is. No problems with the milk this time. He got plenty, and but the interesting thing was that I still, because I was also working, I was babysitting, had a little daycare at my house, so I was substituting again with the soya milk, and and then of course I waited with him longer than with Christina to start feeding him because he didn't really need it, even though he just said he was a skinny guy, skinny, long guy, and so he liked his Bubba, his bottle. He liked cruising around with his bottle under his arm. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you another one on that one here in a minute. So I nursed until they were about 2, and then I had it. Yeah, I wouldn't nurse longer than that. I mean, it was, as I said, eventually you're gonna. I mean, as I said, I've already given enough of my body. Okay, now 2 years old, we're done nursing. Okay, so with Ishi though, he was a year old, and I kind of okay, come on, let's do some nursing, and he was already walking. He was walking at 11 months old. He was the earliest one of our walkers, of our children to walk. And 12 months old, he's walking, cruising, walking around with his Baba. And I said, come on. And he's like, no, Baba. He was done. He weaned himself. He was just done. He didn't, no, he was done. Thanks, Mom. Done a good job. Don't need it anymore, right? Isn't that interesting? Yes. So, he had his bottle, and that was, I'm going, okay, all right, milk fever. Oh my gosh. I went through it with all of my children, and that's another one. It's not fun. But you just go through. You just make it, okay? It's another thing. You just push through it, and hot showers is a good thing for it. The other thing too, you cannot let your children not nurse. You have to just, again, it's one of those, as if there isn't enough already going with all this, right? Anyway, I never gave in and I never gave up. It didn't matter, and I made it through it all without medication, this and that. I did just fine, okay? Also said I've never had postpartum depression or anything like that. Didn't have enough time to have that kind of stuff anyway. Anywho, so, or give in to it. I wasn't willing to give in to stuff like that, and I didn't have time for stuff like that. So, so he was done nursing. I'm going, I'm not sure if I'm done though. And went through a little bit of, but eventually it was fine. I don't remember much about it now, but as far as it was fine, and he had his bottle, and we were both good. Okay. When my children reached about the age of 2, 2.5, I packed up all their duties, okay? What are the lollipops? Pacifiers and their bottles, and they went into a box. And of course, Christina was the first one, so I kept the bottles out because when your children get sick, one of the ways to get them to drink liquid, this and that, is through a bottle. Okay, it's one of these comfort things for them still, and it's the easiest way to really get them to consume what you want them to consume when it comes to liquid, to make sure they don't get dehydrated. It worked with all of my children every time. And I taught my children to drink tea. Okay? No, not the ones with the caffeine-free, tea-free tea. Peppermint. Oh, the fruity stuff they loved. Oh, sleepy time tea was one of their favorites. All right. So, when hit about 2.5 years, I'd get a box, put it all in there, okay, and let them help me put it all in. Say, well, it's time for the bottles and the passies and the tooties to go to Hawaii. They're going on vacation to Hawaii. Seemed like a good, then you can show them on the map too where they're going. Packed it all up, okay, and they're like, okay, and then when they were in bed, I take the box and I put it in a hideaway space. The whole box. And that was it. And interestingly enough, doing it like this, they didn't seem to, they seemed to be fine. I do not remember them crying for their bottles or their pacifiers. Because they were gone. And they'd come and say, so, Tutti gone? Bubba gone? I said, yeah, they went away. They went someplace else. Oh. And then they got their big cups. And I always made sure that they were kind of had their own big cup. Just one. You know, people get all these 10, your whole shelves full of. Mine just had one each, okay? And a special one. And one that just like we would drink out of. Well, anyway, so there it is. But then when they would get sick, I'd say, oh, I'm going to call and get one of those bottles back, right? And it's just, oh, right? And then when they weren't sick anymore, same thing. Ship them off again. It worked every time. And it didn't create this just, oh my gosh, you know, they've got used. We get them used to something that is a comfort thing for them as well. And then, right, we just take it away without any kind of explanation or something. I've always tried to explain to my children why I did what I did. Right? Yes? I even before, okay, when I was doing that, when they would have, okay, you need a spanking for that. Yeah, I sat them down and said, look, I'm sorry I have to do this. Okay? But I feel like you're not willing to learn otherwise. So, right. My children could tell you that they'd laugh when, you know, the spankings I gave them. They'd say, well, we just cry so that you would feel, you know, like you did your job, but Mom, you didn't know how to spank us. You know, it didn't hurt. Okay. I don't know. I felt like it. Well, it was like one of those, oh, okay. Well, anyway. It didn't happen often. It happened very seldom. Through all of their lives. So, there it is, right? That's what you do with the passies and the bottles. And the one thing that, the reason I did that is because I read up on how a pacifier and bottles can distort their teeth, okay? And rot their teeth, depending on what they had in the bottle, which even milk can rot their teeth. And all of my children had great teeth. And I also brought them to the dentist, this and that. At about 4 years old, maybe, gosh, I started 3, 4, depending on how many teeth they had. And just started early, right? And I'm just getting used to going to the dentist. And our dentist, we had a wonderful dentist for our children. Wonderful nurses in there. And my children had no problems on going to the dentist. And they were all, the dentist and the nurses there, they were just so happy. They said, your children are so amazing when they come. There. Ta-da. Anyway, so there it is. That was my son's today, September 2nd. $1989, the year of the earthquake. I believe it was in October. Yep. It was the birth of my son. Another amazing home birth. Oh, So Lindy Johnson did get there about 30 minutes after everything was over. And she's like, what? What? Everything was already cleaned up. Baby swaddled. Da, da, da. What? You know, she comes, oh, wow. Yep. Well, remember, I had her with Emily too, and yeah, she didn't take a chance there. Well, in any case, so that's it. That's another birthday story. Another birthday story to balance out the oh so many unwanted babies out there. Right? Yes. All of my birth stories are so different. And beautiful. And always the people that were there every time, it was like just amazing. And, on why they were there, right? In a way. We ended up, my nephew that was there, helping out. Thank God he was there. We ended up being able to help him with his child when it was needed. And it almost felt like, well, how do we know that things aren't, in a way, right, predestined? Right? Yes? Yeah. In any case, so there it is. Happy birthday to my son, Ishi. Who, his birth was such a easy thing for mom, right? Yes, all right. The afterbirth and the shrinking of the uterus is another story. But I already said that in my other birth videos. Oh my gosh. Again, ginger caplets, ginger tea did it. I was really, you wouldn't get me. You could take an aspirin, ibuprofen. No, I don't want anything. Wow. Right. I'm going to be nursing. I just wanted to have a pure system to feed my brand new baby. Right? Yes. There's so many good natural things out there to help with that. Anywho, so there it is. Why take the chance? You never know what even just a small amount in a brand new baby, a newborn baby, a small amount of any kind of poison, and that's what they are, okay, can do. Why take that chance if you have to just go through a little extra pain? Just saying, right? Yeah, well, you have it easy. Well, I wish I knew why. Right? Yeah. I think that if we accept to be in tune with the principles of love and the principles of creation, then, and keep things in balance, things are just different. They become different somehow, right? Yeah, I don't know, really. Anywho, again, happy birthday, my dear son, Ishi. Born during an earthquake year. 1989. On his due date, the water broke exactly at midnight. From the first to the second. How often does that happen? Tell me how often that happens. Yes. Anywho, here we go. Another special birthday story. Yes. I feel like telling these stories of the birth of my children really soothes the soul, the little souls that were. It soothes their little souls and they feel loved. And it warms them. When one thinks on how cruelly they were just abandoned, ripped apart, stuff like that. Because our joy, the energy, the good energy we share, stories like that, and the joy balances out the cruelty of the other way. And it the sharing of it makes a difference. It does. It makes a difference out there. Yes? All right. That's what I have to share today. Another birthday story. I'm going to say it one more time. Happy birthday. 33 years old. Oh. That's how long we accepted Jesus' life on earth here. Jesus proclaims in Matthew 4:23, Jesus proclaims the message and heals the sick. He went round the whole of Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing all kinds of disease and illness among the people. His fame spread throughout Syria, and those who were suffering from diseases and painful complaints of one kind or another, the possessed, epileptics, the paralyzed, were all brought to him, and he cured them. Large crowds followed him, coming from Galilee, the Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judea, and Transjordan. Interesting. I opened this up. There's a page coming out. My Bible is suffering. I gotta fix it. It's being used so much. It's yellowing too. I kind of like the color though. What did I just say beforehand? I just kind of, well, again, I've opened it up. Said, Father, you will have something to say to my son's birthday. His son's birthday. My son is a child of God as I am too. And what did I say when I tell these stories? Yeah. To be of some healing. For those little abandoned souls. Right? Yes. My brother Jesus taught me well. Still is. God's love and blessings always. Now we'll talk to y'all another time.